On July 30th, 2024, I had a midfoot fusion for a Lisfranc dislocation. I had 4 screws and a plate installed in my foot as well as a bone graft. Since I put off getting surgery for about 5.5 years, I had a lot of time to mentally prepare for it, which was for me helpful but probably waited a little too long. I started putting the things that I needed for my surgery about a month beforehand. I got my walking boot and crutches from the doctor's office about 3 weeks before the surgery at my pre-op appointment, and they made sure to tell me to bring both my crutches and my walking boot with me on the day of my surgery. Having these 2 things so far ahead of time was really helpful so that I could practice strapping the walking boot on and off a couple of times, because it did look a little overwhelming to me since there are a few pieces to the walking boot. And I also practiced using the crutches up and down the stairs a few times because my house does not have a bathroom on the first floor, and I knew that I would not want to be stuck on the 2nd floor of my house for too long. I have a heating pad for my neck, which comes in really useful because I get tension headaches easily, and the crutches definitely gave me a lot of those. I got a knee scooter a few weeks before my surgery so that I would have the time to build it, have it adjusted to my height, and practice using it. I learned things like not to turn too sharply because that makes the scooter lose its balance. I got the idea for the knee scooter from Reddit, and that was a really popular item for people to buy when they were non-weight bearing. They can be ordered on Amazon, but I got mine on a bidding app. I got a shower bench, also called a transfer bench, and a separate cushion to add some extra padding. I made sure to take the measurements of my bathtub to make sure that it wouldn't be too wide to fit in my tub. I also got this a few weeks before my surgery and found a really useful YouTube tutorial to practice getting into and out of the shower while non-weight bearing. I'm going to include the link to the tutorial that I used in the video description because this one was really the best one that I found. The shower bench that I got was super easy to build, so I'm going to provide the links for that and the cushion as well in the video description. Make sure to measure the width of your tub before buying a bench, and definitely buy the shower cushion because the bench is pretty hard without it. I bought an elevation pillow on Amazon, and I would alternate between using that and stacking 2 pillows because sometimes the elevation pillow would start to feel a little high, and it would be nice to be able to just switch back and forth between the 2. And so alternating between the 2 was just really nice that I could change positions a bit overnight. I went to the library to pick up a ton of books the week before my surgery. I couldn't focus much on reading the first 4 days or so after my surgery, but having a big stack of books helped a ton once I started having enough focus and alertness to read. I got in all the movement I could before my surgery, which in the last several weeks was harder because my foot and lower leg would hurt so much that it would become completely numb at times, but I wanted to enjoy the mobility I did have before not being able to walk for at least 6 weeks after the surgery. I also bought some easy exercise equipment for at home, but the pink one that I'm showing ended up being much less useful. The Pilates toning ring, on the other hand, did end up being more useful once the stitches came out. The Amazon link for both are in my video description. I bought 3 pounds of ground coffee from my local coffee shop, Bean Through, which sounds like a lot, but I go through it pretty fast so that I could make iced coffee at home. I put 2 bags of the coffee in the freezer and 1 in my coffee canister, and my husband did a great job of making my coffee for me when I couldn't make it myself after my surgery. I bought some gym shorts on Amazon because I knew I would need some easy clothes to pull on over my walking boot and would especially need something super easy for the day of the surgery. Other advice and recommendations to prepare for surgery include getting a plastic bag or covering to put over your foot or cast or walking boot for showering, since your foot typically cannot get wet for a few weeks after the surgery. Getting a second opinion, which is important to do, especially if you don't have a great feeling about your diagnosis or the treatment plan. This was something that I did, and it was part of the reason I waited so long to get surgery, and it was something I heard a lot of other people say as well, was that they got a second and sometimes even third opinion before getting surgery. Wear comfortable clothes that are stretchy and easy to take on and off over a large splint or walking boot when you go to the hospital for surgery. I wore a t-shirt and large basketball shorts. If it's colder, pajama pants or any other types of pants with wide bottoms would also work. This is probably the biggest thing. Ask your family, friends, neighbors to come and check on you every day during the first 2 or 3 weeks if you don't live with someone. If you can't get a knee scooter or an iWalk, I've heard a lot of people say that having a wheelchair in addition to the crutches is very helpful as well. And the last thing is to have prepared or easy to prepare foods ahead of time in the freezer or in the pantry. You will not have the energy or the mobility for the first 3 weeks or so to be doing high-level cooking, so just have as much stuff that's super easy for the first few weeks.